architecture is kind of a mystery, believe me.
Daniel Libeskind starts December 18th on DW.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening, I'm Maggie Forciedo. In the news tonight, long-distance bus operators still unhappy despite tariff increase, NBC assets overstated, Namib Mills hands over school stationery to top-performing learners in commerce, backyard vegetable gardens on the rise in the city, and Roundup Business on One, comments, corners, sports and the weather. Public transport tariffs have increased with 9.2%, but long-distance bus operators are unimpressed. They say as long as 7-seaters continue operating unregulated, the increase won't make a difference as they still struggle to get passengers.
Securing enough passengers remains a challenge for long-distance operators, and this, according to them, is due to competition from 7-seater operators.
Kanduete semba driver tunamua na sonota shuri ke kucha okuwedere presa mo mesimboro paife uana washike okuganja que transportandia ka dishido ka dinu semba oku transport okuzaike ko 7-seater que private car no que tarak semba en ana besamba tune permita do kuferefura katunamoshu wana wawashi.
They say authorities should have dealt with the illegal public transport operators before approving an increase in taxi fares.
For this increasing of the payment of the public transport, it will not can work because we have already had communication with the 7-seaters. First, number one, 7-seaters. The government, they do nothing on that things. They drive without a permit. So there is a competition between the buses and the 7-seaters. So we stay our price the same. We don't increase our price. We just hold our price the same.
Some of these buses, according to NPPTA, make a minimum of 2 trips per day to closer towns like Walvis Bay and Swakopmund.
If you look at buses operating from here to Swakopmund, you might get 1 or 2 buses that are leaving the premises per day, where previously we used to have 5 to 10 buses leaving just to Walvis Bay or Swakopmund, and even to the south. It has been very detrimental to our industries.
The Road Transportation Board of Namibia, under the Ministry of Works and Transport, approved the tariff increase to compensate for the rising cost of fuel. The spokesperson at the Works Ministry confirmed this telephonically.
We have considered a number of factors. We are aware of the COVID situations, which is affecting everybody. But again, also the bus operators and taxi operators, they also need to service these vehicles. They also need people who are drivers who need to be paid. And they also need to purchase tires in order to keep these vehicles in good conditions. These are all the factors that we'll look at and also looked at the margins that they normally make in order for us to consider the increase of these bus and taxis.
As for the feud between long-distance and illegal 7-seater operators, Ngweda said the ministry is in the process of working out a solution.
One of the solutions with regard to the 7-seater is that once the bill, which is currently now standing at our National Assembly, which I'm sure that by next year will be discussed and then consultation will be done, and I think it will become a law next year. That bill has included all those issues, particularly with regard to the 7-seaters. So that matter will become something of the past, definitely.
The Road Transportation Board of Namibia pointed out the issue of unauthorized price increases by some public transport operators. Appropriate legal action will be taken against those found guilty. The Roads Transportation Board of Namibia further urges bus and taxi operators to implement hygiene measures among commuters to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
We're about insightful conversations.
We're about business,
your startup and SME,
your entrepreneurial journey,
especially your hustle.
No. We are Afro content.
No, Afro excellence.
Empower culture.
We're more like culture. The crème du crème.
For your daily dose of ingenuity and insight,
flair and sophistication.
Catch us weekdays at 6 to 10 a.m.
Sivo and Mo in the morning. Dude, must you be extra? Must we be extra? Ah!
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
The Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts at the recent hearing of the national broadcaster raised the issue with overstatement of the NBC's property in excess of $5 million Namibia dollars. The NBC management stated that it does not have property valuation experts and therefore put out an expression of interest for such services. It then took application documents of the expression of interest to the Valuer General's office at the Lands Ministry, who then chose the service provider Ubuso, after which the NBC issued an award letter for in 2015.
The committee chairperson inquired why the NBC had not done its due diligence to correct the overvaluation by the recommended service provider, which the committee notes the NBC overpaid subsequently. The NBC, however, noted that it negotiated the valuator flat fee as it didn't have the financial means to pay the service provider a percentage of the valuation.
But when the finding was made by the Auditor General's office that the buildings are overstated with 5 million, you did not go back to the Valuer General that what the valuator that he recommended gave you was not correct, was not a true reflection. Instead, as was stated by Honorable Smith before, valuators are paid on a percentage of the valuation that they have done. Now, if they overvaluate, then it implies that you have overpaid him because of his fraudulent overvaluation. What we would like to know is whether you have done something to rectify that. In the first instance, the payment, and secondly, that such things should not again occur with you, because after several years you have to do evaluation again of the assets that you are having. And if the valuator would do the same thing, then you will surely again overpay that person. And that is what we are asking, what is there in place that it not be repeated?
We don't have that kind of money, Mr. Smith and the Chair, to pay based on what the numbers are saying. Exactly because of the position that we are finding ourselves in, we negotiate a fair fee that fits our problem. So payment to that effect would not necessarily be linked to what is the value of property that has been done. And that was part of us. It's either you take it or you leave it, because back again, we would have to manage this payment within the means of what we're having. I think the Chair was asking earlier on, would you just spend it, Mr. Smith, as well, because you think you have money? Absolutely not in this case, because it will be a matter of us to see what we can expend, and then on the basis of that only then say, if you are willing to do it for this amount, then you can get the job. Otherwise, if not, then we'll get to the next candidate, because that would have proven to be too expensive for an entity like ours. But I also take note of what the Chairman is saying, is that going into the future, what are we doing, or what have we done in order to make sure that these type of things don't recur again, because they naturally will have an impact on any form of order that is coming through. The first one for us was to correct the numbers based on the findings of what the audit opinion said in terms of the understated amount, so that it can be in line with what the reality. Overstated. Overstated. Sorry, just in terms of what the amounts would be, and yes, that we have done from our end.
In response to the committee, the NBC notes that the value of the property was overstated due to duplication of land records in the assets register as a result of human errors, and depreciation was overstated due to human errors in the valuation calculation. The NBC's financials have since been corrected. Committee member Nico Smith pointed out the danger of the over-evaluation error, urging institutions to be cautious and ensure proper qualifications when making new appointments.
It is a serious issue, but we are reading every day in the paper, I think this morning, that somebody has been appointed in a very high position with a so-called master's degree, but he doesn't even have a degree. But he was appointed by the board in that position. Having a master's degree, that was a qualification. So, this must be also sort of a wake-up call to all our people out there, especially our government entities, whatever, to be careful when they appoint people, that they must make 200% sure that people are properly qualified, and that qualifications are legitimate, that they are legitimate. So this is not really aimed at you as people now, but how was that person appointed, and did he have the necessary qualifications to do this work? Because me, myself, I was also in properties for many years. I'm still halfway. And I know, in what big trouble you can land if the valuator comes with the wrong valuation. As a developer, if he over-evaluate, you will not sell. Because when the bank comes to evaluate your property, they will evaluate it lower. But now you sit, according to your budget and everything, with a very high valuation. So it messes up your whole, your finances. So that is why we are hammering on this thing of proper qualifications and know whether this person can do the job or not. Thank you.
Top-performing learners from schools around Windhoek were rewarded for their hard work by Namib Mills this week. The company handed over backpacks with stationery to over 50 learners as part of their corporate social responsibility.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
This is a new initiative started by the Instant Porridge brand managers as a way of giving back to the community.
The event that took place here today was the first of its kind, and we think it will be an annual event where we identify even more schools and hopefully beyond the Commerce region borders. We're looking maybe to identify, I'm now speaking from the top of my mind, maybe identify 100 schools if we are able to financially. And it's a motivating factor because kids should learn that once you're putting in the work and putting in the effort and doing your utmost best, you will be rewarded and recognized in a manner such as this one.
So basically we just thought that it's time to give back to the community. We give back through Top Score, through social sport, through sporting events like soccer, Top Score 7-a-side, and Instant Porridge does not have its own unique theme. So we came about giving back to the community through stationery, empowering kids through education, and that's basically it.
A school teacher expressed her gratitude, mentioning that this would help parents who are struggling to buy stationery for their children.
Giving back to the community, in fact, is the first company in this year to give back from what they are getting from the community. I know our communities are spending a lot of money buying the brand Top Score and Instant Porridge, as you can see. And for me, I'm very proud for them to give back in the community. Parents are struggling getting stationaries for learners, and that is a very good start. So for parents, they will be very happy to see their top, because the learners we brought here today are the top performers of the school. Yeah, from grade 0 up to grade 7. And so it's a good thing to reward them.
According to the brand managers, this is the first of many more to come, and they would like to reach out to more learners in the future.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
After a hard year, we've got the Christmas you deserve with incredible savings. Like Koo baked beans and tomato sauce, buy 2 for just $22. And all gold tomato sauce, buy 2 for only $50. Plus, every day, we're giving Lucky Spar Rewards customers their shopping for free. Merry Christmas from all of us at Spar.
Namibia will conduct the 4th population and housing census in August 2022. To find out more, tune into the television broadcast of Conversations with the NSA on Tuesday the 7th of December at 8 p.m. and the repeat broadcast on Sunday the 12th of December at 7 p.m. The Population and Housing Census 2021. Play your part. Be counted.
The number of backyard vegetable gardens in the city's informal settlements are growing, as many feel that they can no longer afford to pay for vegetables from supermarkets.
Agri on One met up with residents from the Koreagap informal settlement who grow their own vegetables to enhance household food security and well-being. Natina Joseph grows spinach, chilies and carrots in his backyard so he can provide for his family.
Making my garden so that I can just
take so that I can just take it and eat here. When I want to eat it, I can just sow it, then I eat it for my self. Not everything I just buy it from the shop.
Another resident, Lucas, who is a full-time security guard, grows spinach in his garden, which he sells for $10 a pack and sometimes gives for free to the less fortunate.
I don't want to suffer. I don't want to go buy those spinach, whatever, in the shop. Yeah, now that's why I'll make a plan to make my own garden.
Namibia produces about 40% of the food it consumes and is highly dependent on imports. According to the World Food Programme, rapid urbanization and persistently high unemployment rates have contributed to a growing number of poor lacking access to food and basic social services in the country.
Did you know? COVID-19 vaccines may not only prevent you from getting seriously sick. Vaccines allows your body to fight the virus well before an infection occurs. This greatly increases your chances of not getting seriously ill when infected. The government provides COVID-19 vaccines for free, and they are safe for people aged 18 years and older, including those with pre-existing conditions. Remember, it is important to go for both doses of the vaccine to make sure you are fully protected.
So, get vaccinated. Help keep COVID-19 out of Namibia.
This message was brought to you by the Nationhood and National Pride Program in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Social Services.
In other leading stories, in commemoration of this year's 16 Days of Activism, #BreakFree hosted the Arts for Activism show at Droombos with artists and creatives who have utilized their craft to raise awareness and address issues related to sexual and gender-based violence through the arts. In her keynote address, the First Lady of Namibia, Monica Gengos, stated that increased efforts should be made to end violence, emphasizing that prevention and response measures must accompany that effort. In describing the violent situation in Namibia, she noted that they are aware that the majority of SGBV cases are not reported, adding that awareness also extends to the cases' similarities such as lack of affection, substance abuse, and male reluctance to seek professional help when necessary. Gengos continued to express and warn against the pervasive social mentality of sheltering abusers by making excuses for their deplorable behavior, citing that the trauma inflicted on the victims, particularly children, has a profound impact on how they end up in adulthood. And the Old Haven List Group has issued a statement in which it strongly condemns imposed travel bans by the United Kingdom, European Union and the United States enacting against Southern African countries, including South Africa and Namibia, amongst others. On Monday, November 29, 2021, Japan became the latest country to reinstate tough border restrictions banning all foreigners from entering the country from 30 November. The imposed travel bans are as a result of the new coronavirus variant Omicron, classified as a variant of concern detected in South Africa earlier this month and then reported to the World Health Organization on Wednesday, 24 November 2021. ONL Executive Chairman Sven Thieme expressed his dismay, saying it is utterly disrespectful deceitful and discriminatory of our intellectual capacity, as well as undermining the skill and excellence of a world-class science community. Time added that instead of being recognized and commended, South Africa and its neighbors, including Namibia, are punished for being transparent. Those countries responsible for this should be held liable for their action, Time lambasted. He further added that our best weapon of defense against this dreadful virus is to be fully vaccinated and follow the basic rules of wearing a mask regularly, washing and sanitizing hands, avoiding large gatherings, and trusting the scientific approach.
Stay true to who you are and stay true to Namibia Sounds. Starting September 4th at 7 p.m., Valentine's and 99 FM bring you the True Music Sessions, a back-to-back playlist of our nation's finest artists brought to you by the finest blended Scotch whiskey, Valentine's. Stay true. There's no wrong way.
Joseph Shifeni is standing by for this evening's edition of Business on One.
Business on One is proudly brought to you by the Government Institutions Pension Fund.
Welcome to this evening's edition of Business on One. I'm Joseph Shifeni. A 5-star class passenger vessel recently arrived in Namibia, visiting both coastal towns of Lüderitz and Walvis Bay. The tourism sector is the third largest contributor to the economy of Namibia, and since the pandemic began, has been the hardest hit sector. The arrival of the vessel brought hope to locals and visitors alike. Named MS Europa and carrying over 200 passengers aboard, the vessel docked at the Walvis Bay port, where locals waited to transport some of the tourists inland. The ship became the first passenger vessel to arrive on our shores after nearly 2 years of travel restrictions.
We have 230 passengers on board. That is around 60% capacity. We do not sail with more than maximum 70% capacity because in case something happens, we also need to have isolation cabins. So basically what will be considered full now is 275. The capacity is 300. And of course, as you probably know, Europa is regarded a 5-star plus vessel. Europa and Europa 2 are the only 2 vessels in the world which is regarded 5-star.
I have been to Walvis Bay before, and I saw the flamingos and the seals, and it was really beautiful. And today we are going to go to Irindi, so I'm excited and I want to see the animals.
I love the friendliness of the Namibian people, and they seem to smile whenever I see them.
With the recent news of another surge in COVID-19 cases and discovery of a new variant that threatens the travel and leisure industry that contributes over 10% to the gross domestic product of Namibia, the captain assured Namibians that the crew members were fully vaccinated and getting tested every second day. Local tour operators were already waiting at the port and could not hide their excitement.
I'm very, very excited after such a long time that cruise ships are coming back, and then we hope to see more of this. And I'm really, really excited. I might be more excited than the clients. And I'm very happy to be here today.
Yes, they are coming from other area, but what I know and I understand that most of them, when they are traveling, they already vaccinated, which is better when you vaccinated. It's not so easy the disease to catch you, and we all also vaccinated here.
Everything is going to come to normal, and for our economy to pick up again. So we're still hoping for more boat cruises to come over.
The ship that carried 230 passengers was at the Walvis Bay port for 2 days before moving on to Lüderitz. It is expected to return to Walvis Bay once again by the end of this week.
Business on One was proudly brought to you by the Government Institutions Pension Fund.
And that is all we have for you. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages for more on the business front.
Oranje-Munt, established in 1936, from which point onwards CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oranje-Munt, which is no longer a closed town.
This ship was commandeered by King Charles III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors, because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
Hey kids, are you in primary school and want to get extra supplementary maths, English and science lessons? Then invite Learning in with One Africa TV's #LearnOn1 every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. And thanks to NMH's MyZone, these lessons are 100% Namibian. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite Learning in.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. 10 suspects have been arrested in connection with the leakage of the October-November 2021 Namibia Senior Secondary Certificate Grades 11 and 12 examination question papers, with 3 criminal cases opened in Ongwediva and Andangwa respectively. Theonila wants to know, why would one steal exam papers? Sylvia notes that people like problems. While Lavi says all subjects should be rewritten. That is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast only on Today on One.
After a hard year, we've got the Christmas you deserve with incredible savings. Like Nestle Cremora for only $33.99 and 3 kg Sunlight hand washing powder for just $52.99. Plus, every day we're giving Lucky Spar Rewards customers their shopping for free. Merry Christmas from all of us at Spar.
Stay true to who you are and stay true to Namibia Sounds. Starting September 4th at 7 p.m., Valentine's and 99 FM bring you the True Music Sessions, a back-to-back playlist of our nation's finest artists, brought to you by the finest blended Scotch whiskey, Valentine's. Stay true. There's no wrong way.
And on the sports front, the Namibia Sports Commission recently added the Namibia Handball Federation to the list of federations registered under the organization. The NSC handed over a certificate of registration to the NHF that is now the 50th federation registered under the NSC.
Isi Nakamwe says as an organization they want to use the sport as a tool for uniting Namibia by introducing it to all schools across the country.
Namibia Handball Federation was established in 2021 with a great aim to unite youth through the game of handball itself. We are closely working with NSC Namibia Sport Commission in building regional affiliates all around the country, as well as with the Olympic criteria for us to be able to see our game being displayed on the Olympics level itself. So I'm inviting everybody who is much more interested in Namibia Handball Federation to feel free and come and join, because this is a game you might never know. It might be your talent. It can bring you to the Olympics. Long-term plans, let's start from there on. First, we're looking at Olympics criteria and exposing our country as Namibia in the greatness of handball game itself. Short-term is actually to unite it in our country first. That's what we're looking at, and popularize it also through schools also. That is the way to go we are looking at currently right now.
The NSC's Chief Administrator Simata Muya emphasizes on the importance of registration with new federations.
If you are not recognized by your own institution in the country, the law is very clear. I mean, once you do give you, yes, don't get national colors. Even when like the team that we're saying today, you are not part and parcel of that team. You can go for international participation on your own because the law allows you to go and compete. International participation is given to anybody within the border of the country. That's international participation is given to him. But you are not certified with us.
The interim executive's terms of reference are to develop handball in Namibia, to set up regional structures, and to solicit partnerships and sponsorships to develop the sport of handball in the country.
Now a look at the weather forecast.
Now we look at the weather forecast, but first an advisory from the Windhoek Met office. Heavy storms are most likely in the far north this weekend. Cold air is expected in the Karas region over the weekend. The interior will be partly cloudy and warm to hot with isolated thunder showers. The coast will be partly cloudy and mild to warm with showers, and wind will be moderate northwesterly to southwesterly. Now let's have a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures in and around the country.
That is all we have for you. You can join us again for a repeat at 9:30, 6 a.m. and the Omnibus Saturdays from 9 to 2. From me, Maggie Forciero, and the rest of the team, till next time, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Prevention is important. Help prevent the spread of illness and keep yourself and others well. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of germs. Wash your hands regularly with soap and hot water, scrubbing your hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds. Hand sanitizers can be used but are not recommended as a substitute for hand washing. Use sanitizers in addition to hand washing or in a situation where soap and water are not available. To avoid spreading germs, limit sharing of personal items such as utensils, cups, and dishes. Your skin acts as a barrier to germs, but your eyes, nose, and mouth are more vulnerable. Wash your hands thoroughly before touching your face, eating, or drinking. Avoid physical contact with others, including handshakes, fist bumps, high fives, hugs, and kisses. Social distancing is deliberately increasing the physical space between people to avoid spreading germs. While regulations may vary by country or area, the best guideline for social distancing is to maintain a distance of 6 feet from others. Germs can travel through the air from one person to another. If you sneeze or cough, do so into a tissue or the inside of your elbow to prevent the spread of germs. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves until they have recovered and are symptom-free. Clean and sanitize frequently touched common surfaces and high-traffic areas in your home and workplace several times a day. Share these guidelines with others and help prevent the spread of illness and maintain a healthy environment. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.
Scrub your hands in the soap and water. Scrub above and below between the fingers too. Scrub under your nails and scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Rinse your hands, rinse your hands, rinse your hands in water. Rinse them clean, rinse away the soap. Dry your hands, dry your hands, dry your hands and go.
Akili, why do we wash our hands?
To wash away the germs.
Akili, what are germs?
They're like tiny little bugs on your hands and they can make you sick.
But I don't see any germs on my hand.
That's because they're so tiny that you can't even see them.
Oh wow, I want to wash the germs away. Will you wash your hands with me, Akili?
Of course! Wash your hands in clean water. Wash your hands, wet them with the water. Wash your hands, now add some soap. Scrub your hands in the soap and water. Scrub above and below between the fingers too. Scrub under your nails and scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Rinse your hands in water. Rinse them clean, rinse away the soap. Dry your hands, dry your hands and go. Great job, Haruma! Can you tell me the 4 things we did to wash our hands?
I can try.
1.
Wash our hands with water.
2.
Put soap on our hands.
3.
Scrub our hands all over.
4.
Rinse our hands clean with water.
Wash your hands, wash the germs away.
Nothing is too good for my daughter. Now here's the deal, Nambi. There's no playing around with other boys before your wedding. Do you understand me? It's the most important day of your life.
Nambi, baby, you have a face like a beautiful person. I got you this Virgin Mary necklace to protect your innocence.
Stupid man. We have loved each other since high school and now you want to turn your back on me? All the plans we made, you just throw them away? And you want Nambi now? When I've always been there for you, Ziwa, do you understand? And she doesn't even love you.
I wasted my time on someone like you.
Don't be like that, Jalia.
Love, everybody needs it. Love.
Many countries that have passed their first peak of COVID-19 are experiencing a second rise in cases. Is this a second wave of infections, and could even more waves lie ahead? Previous pandemics might give us a clue. The 1918 Spanish flu was the most deadly pandemic in modern history. It killed at least 50 million people. Its second wave was the most deadly by far, killing millions more than the first and third. More recent outbreaks, such as SARS and swine flu, have also had 2 or more waves, so it looks like the COVID-19 pandemic could have several too. The World Health Organization has warned about the dangers of a deadly resurgence. Many countries and places have seen infections accelerate after bringing their first waves under control. These rises aren't necessarily new waves. They could be spikes. Spikes are rapid rises in cases that aren't sustained, whereas waves happen over longer periods and often contain several spikes or peaks. Second waves only take place after a first wave has retreated. Many scientists believe more waves are inevitable and think a worse one could hit during autumn or winter. Some other coronaviruses spread faster when the weather is cold. If this is the case with COVID-19, it would put health systems under huge pressure. Many people are still vulnerable, and immunity to the virus might only last a few months for those who recover. It's also possible that mutations to the virus could lead to new waves. Hundreds of mutations have been found, and some could potentially make the pandemic more severe. One mutation may have already improved the ability of the virus to bind its spike proteins to human cells. This strain of the virus appears to unlock cells more easily and has become dominant around the world. It's unknown how the virus will continue to change, but further mutations could make it even more dangerous and harder to control. A reliable vaccine would help solve many of these problems, but it may take many months or even years to find one. Until then, we all need to make long-term lifestyle changes to protect ourselves from further waves. How are you learning to live in a world with COVID-19?
More than ever before, football fans demand unique insight and analysis. The Football Review is much more than a highlights show. Bold, provocative editorial that goes beyond conventional reporting, setting the agenda for football discussion. Champions League, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Liga 1, and much more. Want genuine insight with hard-hitting editorial? Need compelling premium football content? The Football Review. Best, bar none.
Black sunrise, always gonna be a surprise, 'cause we don't know the way it's going to go, 'cause we can see the way it's going to be, 'cause we can see.
We're talking about COVID. Baba G, tell us about the day you found out you had COVID.
The day I found out I have COVID, it was a difficult day. I didn't understand how I got COVID. because I was always covered. I was always with my hand sanitizer. It came with my wife. And that whole day, I was thinking, what's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna survive. My kids, I was losing my tasting, smelling. There were some days I will test my taste buds and put like 4 or 5 chilies in my coffee. No ways. I didn't taste it.
So did you also lose your appetite in the process?
It was very funny. In the first week, no, I was chowing. I was chowing like I will wake up like midnight and make for me something. But after the first week, then the appetite was gone. When you go to bed, your body is also automatically switching off. And that's a dangerous time for COVID. It's like glass pinching you, cutting you inside your lungs. Then the heart was pumping like a rabbit pumps. So, you are losing a lot of fluids at night.
Is that through fever or what?
Yeah, it's through fever.
So have you experienced any side effects from having contracted COVID-19?
No, not yet. Maybe still coming, but not yet.
And your wife?
She was complaining about light head. It's an annoying headache. It's light, but it's annoying.
So basically you didn't take any prescribed medicine from the doctor to recover from COVID?
No, I didn't. The only thing I was using is desperate for my blood not to clot. Because for some people, when your lungs are really, really infected, your blood will start to clot from the lungs, close all the airways. That's where we are passing. I'm smoking cigarette, and when you were a smoker and COVID in your lungs now.
So then after you found out, you both found out you had COVID, what did you guys do to protect the kids?
The kids move out from the house. The booties will come, then we'll collect everything for them and just put for them outside. When they came, just grab the food and go.
So what was the biggest battle for you? Was it mental or physical?
Mentally. Mentally was the biggest battle. I'm actually an international movie maker, and my career was cut off. I couldn't put bread on the table. There were some days have one meal for the day, then went to bed. And that was hitting me in my mind. What if Blessing gets corona now? Where am I gonna go? Who's gonna help? There were also some people depend on us in the rural areas. We couldn't help them. My future was black, dark, dark, dark. I couldn't even see that small light at the end of the tunnel. One day, my daughter decided, now, I want to see my father today. And I just told her, yeah, she can come. The first words was, Daddy, I was praying for you yesterday night. Don't worry, Corona will go back soon. And I was asking, from where? From Namibia? She said, no, not from Namibia, from you. And you are not looking good. And she was actually heartbroken. Until today, she hates Corona. From there, then I was like, oh, okay. If the smallest one is saying this, why am not picking me up self and do the right thing and get rid of this thing? That's where I started to run, to practice, coming to my quiet place. And actually, the main thing that broke my heart during that time was there was no one. The time of COVID, there was no one.
So can you tell us where we are right now?
We are at my silent place. I call this place my silent place. I will come here when the COVID is hitting me like 120%. Looking at the ocean, then you will hear voices like, No, you don't belong here. Today, you don't belong here. Get up and go home. Some days, they will nurse you like, no, you will survive. Your future is a bright future. You must not give up now. Think about your kids. Think about the people around you. Even the wind will do that. Actually, you must meditate. The thing of COVID is, looks like COVID is afraid of the warmness and is friends with the coldness. So the whole time you are baking in the sun, it helps a lot.
So is that what you did?
Yeah, I did. I will do that twice a day. This was supposed to be a golden year for me, a very, very good golden year for me, but then COVID decided, no, this is not going to be your golden year. Everything was cancelled. We, the filmmakers, this year, from the international shoots, lost lot of money.
You've lost 3 family members? Is it all due to COVID?
No, not all due to COVID. First one, my sister. She was very close to me. She contracted COVID April, and she was in ICU for 3 months. The COVID damaged her lungs, and at the stage her lungs collapsed and she couldn't breathe without the machines. Her kidneys failed, her liver has failed. COVID is real. First of all, COVID is real. It's not a joke. Most of the people, they fall away from COVID regulations. Still early to fall away from COVID regulations. We must still go in line with those COVID regulations.
And how long did you say it took you to recover?
3 weeks, 21 days.
What must somebody do to change your mind from that negative perspective to that positive?
COVID, no job, it's very dangerous. There was one day I just decided I'm gonna take a rope, go to the jetty, sit around there, and after all I will hang there by the jetty. The time I arrived here, there was no wind. Out of nowhere, the ocean was like angry, and it started to get cold, and I was like, but it was just nice weather. Then I sat down. Then the universe will talk with you, the wind, the sun, the ocean. That's the main thing of COVID. If you don't save yourself, no one will save you. And we must always appreciate what we have around us. That's the main thing in COVID. If you don't appreciate what you have around you, no, you will lose your head.
Smile, smile, smile. When you walk with me, I just want you to smile, smile.
My industry and what I've done with my hands in Namibia, it's going all over the world, and here you are, Papa G, you want to quit now. I'm excited for 2021. It's not gonna be the same like 2020 now. I'm back in the groove.
Give me food, blood, water.